Hello, beautiful souls. How are you? Happy Monday. LindaJoy here. And as I do each Monday, I'll be recording the Soulful Ascension episode. Though, before I start the recording, just checking in to see how you're going. I am back in Sarasota and doing another dog sit. I'm near the downtown of Sarasota. And last night I went to Siesta Beach because they have drumming on the beach. And last time I was in Sarasota, I didn't actually get to the Siesta Beach. I went to Lido Beach, which was beautiful. So I'll definitely bounce between both. But check out my other video on my feed because I did a separate video last night. So how are you feeling with this energy? That's what I'm going to talk about in today's episode. We have a lot of rain. Sarasota is apparently in a drought, so we welcome the rain and bring on the abundance of water for this area and for everyone, for the community here. Okay, so let's get started with the recording. And hello, thanks for watching. Okay, got my mic and welcome everyone to another episode of Soulful Ascension. My name is LindaJoy Benn, and what I'll be talking about today is the energy this week with the Barbault's basket. Now, what I recommend is keeping a printout of your birth chart, and because your birth chart never changes, but when you follow what's happening with the planets and then looking at your chart and looking at the houses where each of these planets are, that will just help you to understand yourself on a deeper level, as well as what's going on astrologically, and that we are all in this together. So what I'm going to talk about today is the Barbault's basket, which many people are talking about, but how that impacts you personally, as well as some simple self-care tools so that you can ride this wave and ride it with ease and grace and still have love and joy in your heart as we go through this very intense energy. I mean, we are still clearing wounds. And I mean, as I've spoken about on other episodes, we are going deeper into those wounds, because with the wounds brings wisdom. And we all have the answers within us. So this is what we are dissolving, those old illusions. This can start in our conscious mind. We're also dissolving those ego thoughts, the limitations, the illusions, and also those attachments. Next week we have a very powerful, intense full moon, which I'll talk more about next week. But this week we're in the basket, and if you look at the actual chart of the outer planets, it is an actual basket with a handle. And so this is how it got its name, from the French astrologer who passed in 2019. He made all these predictions that were true. So, but the energy right now is really helping you to go much deeper into clearing out old wounds of the old self and looking at your whole life of what's draining your energy, what's enhancing your energy. And we've talked a lot about addictions, you know, when you're feeling that pain come up and you're feeling that, and with the addictions, that's where you're numbing out with that addiction to avoid the pain, because there's a part of you that is scared. And that's one of the illusions that we're working on. But if you feel the pain temporarily, in order to free yourself long time, well, then it's worth it, because it's stop doing or repeating that same cycle. And if you just sit and feel the pain and go, wow, okay, it's pain. My body's telling me something. My body is giving me really important information right now. What do I choose to do with this information? What's the message from this pain? And trust yourself. This is about listening to your heart, listening to your soul, trusting your inner guidance and those messages within. And unplug from the external world, because the addictions are triggered when we go outside of ourselves into the external world, giving our power away to a substance, say something in the external world, to numb out. And this can be anything, you know, not just food, alcohol, drugs. Could be just the scrolling, doom scrolling, in order to numb out, because you're trying to escape. So when we truly feel into where it's blocked in our body and what we're feeling, and trusting those messages, and this can be combined with automatic writing or journaling, meditation, and doing a brain dump. And I also suggest, if you have issues or conflicts with different people, write them a letter and just do a brain dump and express exactly how you feel, and then burn that letter. And that will release the energy, so you're not carrying it around as baggage and blocking your own life force energy. So with this week of this magical week, we have so much going on astrologically, but we're also, today's the last day of the Cancer season, because we move into Leo season. Now, Leo, the line, is big, it's bold, it amplifies everything. But when it's in Jupiter, Jupiter is all about expansion. It is the biggest planet. And so Jupiter is all about big, huge expansion of new initiations, combined with Leo, which just amplifies everything. So this is a really exciting time of the new choices that you're making right now that will create your future. And this will continue for the rest of this year. We're going to feel this energy, because next month we also have eclipse season, which again accelerates everything. But this is all for your higher consciousness. And that actually, tonight I'm giving a free introduction on the Palo Healing, which is an enlightenment modality that shifts consciousness and expands awareness, connects all 12 strands of DNA, and how this actually, when you shift consciousness and really tap into your higher self, this is where everything's amplified and accelerated consciously, because your future, you actually see a very clear new future for new beginnings. So with the two planets, Leo and Jupiter, Jupiter, and then Leo is the star sign in there. It is a very massive new beginning for all of us, depending on the choices that you make. So it's about taking responsibility for the choices that we make, and feeling into each choice. How does it make you feel? So making a choice, if what's the outcome that you choose? Because if it's coming from ego, well, then the outcome that you create may not be what you desire. So this is consciously making new choices for your highest good and destiny, and the highest good and destiny for all, as well as the planet. And to help you through this is where all the tools of embodiment come in. This is the grounding, getting out in nature, breath work, connecting with animals. That's why I'm dog sitting right now and connecting with animals. It can be meditating, it can be journaling, the automatic writing, being out, like connecting with the trees, as well as the beach, being in water. I actually went for a swim earlier today, just to be in the water, because that is also, well, being in the water for me, and this can be different to you, but that's also part of my meditation. You can actually walk in nature and do a walking meditation, connecting with all the trees, and asking the trees, asking the nature spirits, asking the animals that you see, what's the message that you have for me? Because we are all connected, we are all one, and what we're building together is a new earth and a new beginning. But for you individually, it's about coming back and asking your soul, because your soul is constantly speaking to you. So when you're journaling, just ask your soul first thing in the morning, what does my soul want to tell me today? And you will receive direct messages. This is the realignment that we're going through. And this is where the ideas will come through, and this will continue. But it's about discipline and making that a daily practice, part of your self-care. Because this is where, when you can sit down at the roughly the same time or the same place. I know, as I am house sitting, obvious every week, it can be a different house. So, but if you have some kind of daily routine where you're sitting down at the same table and chair, and that's your indicator to spirit going, okay, I'm ready to write. I'm ready to receive those downloads. I'm ready to receive those messages. Bring it on. And then just close your eyes. Ask the question, what does my soul choose to tell me today? And then do your automatic writing. Because we are truly stepping into a whole new energy. And it will shape our new future. But if we're holding on to the old dense energy, that will actually feel so heavy in our body, heavy around us in our field, and also heavy, you will see it with other people who are resistant to change. So you may move away from different people, from different friends, from different groups and different activities, because it no longer brings you joy. And this is where you're making new choices for yourself. And then the new choices will be new friendships, new high vibration people who enhance your life in a positive way, who are on the same wavelength as you, who have the same values, who enjoy the same activities, who are also devoted to their personal and spiritual growth, and they're also on that path of expanding consciously as well as their awareness and spiritually. So it's about truly being true to you, and set yourself free by setting free anything that can be holding you back. And so when you're tuning in, and I've spoken about this in the past, we're looking at the family lineage, the generational, what do I want to call it? That the limitations that have been passed down through the generations in our family, which has shaped our thinking and our beliefs and the stories that we still believe in, well, then that could be limiting us and keeping us limited as well as stuck, and or playing small. So with the Jupiter and Leo, it's about big expansion, being bold, being courageous, and stepping out as the courageous, strong, empowered leader that you are. And that's what we're going to see more of with this energy, because it's about you taking back your power and then stepping into your leadership role and your power to believe in yourself, and no longer being controlled by the external world or from leaders who want to power over you. And that's what we've seen in the past, where the power over our society, and you must comply, and it's all about control and manipulation and programming, and people are now going, no more. I'm no longer buying into that. It no longer feels aligned to my truth, and I choose to make a new choice for me. So as we move through this week, we also have Mercury going direct, and the energy just keeps building, because like I said, next week we've got a very powerful full moon. And so the full moon is all about letting go, but this week really spend some time at looking at what in your life needs to be let go of, what in your life is collapsing or dissolving. This is like in the tarot, we have the tower, and it's the tower, and the tower's falling, so it has to crumble in order for us to create the new. And this is about allowing that process to happen, allowing the changes to happen, and surrender to what is, and asking Spirit just to guide you. And it's like, okay, I let this go, I no longer want it, and just let it go, because that will free you. If you're holding on and trying to control an outcome, controlling a situation, controlling the narrative, or controlling how you want something, that just creates more resistance inside your body that causes the pain. and the suffering. So the more you can go, what will be, will be. I surrender, I let it go, and I release the outcome. The universe has got everything orchestrated for us, and just trust and let go. And this whole journey, you know, of my travels across America, it's all based on just faith and trust. And it's like, please show me, please guide me, please teach me. And definitely I'm, you know, feeling this energy myself and being tested along the way. It's like I am really feeling this energy because astrologically, they talk about the Neptune trine. Well, I have 3 trines in Neptune. So this is where it's like, whoa, okay. I'm really feeling this energy. And this is why my self-care practices and everything that I teach you is what I'm doing for myself. Because this is how I nurture and nourish myself, and how I, you know, if I'm feeling wobbly, it's like, whoa, okay, how do I come back into alignment? And so everything I'm practicing, I'm sharing with you because it is my practices, and I just can feel my energy. I'm very in tune with my body. And so the more that you just tune into your body, this is the embodiment tools of feeling. Where do I feel stuck in my body? What's causing any pain? Because that's just blocked energy. Where are there niggles or tension or tightness in my body? Or how is your sleep? How's your dreams? Are you dreaming? What are the messages in your dreams? When you're journaling, what are the messages coming through when you're journaling? When you close your eyes in a meditation and just ask the questions, it's what's coming through. These are the profound messages that are all being downloaded for all of us. So listen to those messages, because that will guide you each step of the way, and that will help you to keep coming home to yourself, to your heart, to your soul. And this is what I go much deeper in the Benn method, because that's the balance, energy, nurture, and nourish. So it's looking at what's out of balance in my life. This can be all aspects of your work, much more than just your work-life balance, but it's about your inner balance as well. So you've got the external and the internal. It can be an imbalance of your thinking. What thoughts are you putting out there? The imbalances in your daily routine, your imbalances with your sleep routine, imbalances in your daily activities, with your self-care, with your everyday routine of from the time you wake up to the time you go to bed, and just check in. How balanced do I feel energetically, and balanced with the choices that you're making, and how does that feel? Because our energy is constantly being influenced by the thoughts that we're thinking, because we are all energy. And so our energy is actually changing on a daily basis depending on our self-care practices and how balanced and in harmony we feel within. So if we feel on edge and our nervous system is really shaken up and we're not sleeping, and where our nervous system is in the fight and flight, and we feel nervous or anxious or overwhelmed, well, then that will just set off a dominoes effect with everything else in our physiology, in our body, because it's all coming from our mind. And so this is the breath work, to calm your nervous system down, self-regulation of your nervous system, come back into alignment with your body. And then what's the next self-care tool that you can embody and implement for you? And so, as I've said in every episode, it's the grounding tools and also the nurture and nourish. When you can love yourself first, love and accept yourself, well, then that's one of the strongest embodiment tools, because it's like you're just full of love and light. You're not looking at the external world in order for validation. So it's a question on how much do you love and accept yourself, and goes back to your self-worth and how do you feel about yourself. And are you doing things or making choices in your life in order to seek validation or to seek acceptance or approval or love from the external world and from people, or from accolades, or from different associations or whatever? This is the ego death that I talked about last week, is all those illusions are dissolving and collapsing, because all these shifts are helping you to come back into alignment with your truth of who you are. And the more that you can allow yourself to feel what's dissolving, what's collapsing, and go, wow, amazing. So look what I've learnt from this, and allow yourself to bring in more light and replace the stuff that's flowing out. And that's the ego death of giving up control and just surrender. Surrender to what is. And remember, it's not your job to try and change anyone else. Everyone else is on their own journey, and they're making their own choices, and your job is just to work on you, be responsible for the choices that you make, and shine your light, do the things that bring you joy, that light you up, that bring you happiness. Keep doing more of that and being the example for others, and that is the ripple effect that will help many, many millions around the world. Because if everyone did that and just stayed in their heart and just keep rippling out just love for everyone and everything, and having compassion for everyone, well, that is how we will create the world that we choose to live in. Okay. So I'm going to choose a card from the Psychic Tarot, and let's see what comes through in regards to this topic. And thank you for watching on Facebook. And also thank you for subscribing to my YouTube. If this message resonates with you, please like and share and comment with others. I do read all the comments, so thank you for supporting the channel, because that's what will help the message to grow. We have transformation. So this is a perfect perfect card because it's a major arcana card, but this is what we're all going through right now. The last 2 weeks of, well, the whole month of July is so powerful. It's all about transformation, but this energy will continue for the rest of this year and into next year. It's all about transformation and you actually transforming more into the light of who you are. It's about you embracing what your God-given gifts and embracing and embodying the value that you bring to others, your uniqueness, you stepping into your power and leadership and putting yourself out there, being the courageous pioneer. And this will actually trigger off many new beginnings of people changing career more into being artists and more intuitive work, or into dance or music or art or play, or it's really bringing out our inner child play. And this is what's being amplified, and the transformation is transforming from the cocoon into the butterfly. It's like it's no going back. So when you actually expand your wings like the Leo and Jupiter, it's about expansion. It's like, who are you transforming into? And now that you have let go of the old dogma, the old dense energy, and made new choices for your life, what's new and different in your life? And that's the transformation that we're all going through. So very exciting. So the extended message is, a time of endings is close at hand. Don't resist the abrupt changes that are suddenly happening in your life. These could be taking place in your personal life, relationships, business, or career. You have the strength, as the transformation card asks you, to have courage and to know that renewal follows every conclusion. This card comes forth to remind you that the death of an old way of thinking and believing must occur before you can move forward on your new path. Transformation is all about the ebb and flow of life cycles. Nothing in life remains motionless. Everything is on its way to somewhere. Accept the changes, and opportunity will come to expand you in more ways than you could ever imagine. You can't live in the past. It's time to move on. In order to take the next positive step, you should look closely at your own life and ask yourself, are there loose ends that need to be tied up? Are there people in my life who I need to express myself to? And next question, what needs to be completed so I can have a fresh start? And feel free to rewind back and write those questions down, and that can be part of your journal exercise. So when you do so, you'll have a stronger, more reinforced foundation to carry you through the new beginnings that await you. So this card is also related to the death card in the tarot. So it is the death and the rebirth that we're all going through. And it's also the death of the ego. So the ego is holding on out of fear. So it's looking at those fears of what is keeping you stuck, keeping you limited, keeping you playing small, and any fears from you stepping out and being the courageous leader that you are. And this is where the new ideas come through. This is where it's like, I choose to start a movement or start and create a legacy and create. So these are all the downloads that many of us are receiving right now, because it really comes back to what truly matters in your life, in your heart, and what's the impact that you choose to leave this earth when you leave. Because we're only here for such a short time. So what's the impact and the legacy that you choose to leave the next generations to come? So on that note, I will say goodbye and wish you such a blessed week, because it is an exciting week of new beginnings. It's an exciting week of expansion and new choices and new opportunities and new doors opening, and it is new energy that we're stepping into. And like the transformation card, it is you stepping from the cocoon into the butterfly and allowing yourself to fly. So be kind and gentle with yourself through this transformation, and also have compassion and forgiveness for yourself as well as your brothers and sisters around you. And the ones that choose not to change, that's okay. You're not here to try and make them change. You just focus on you and follow your truth and allow others to make their own choices in their own time. Okay, if you want to discuss this on a deeper level, if you're struggling with, say, relationships, or the breaking away, or the changing of maybe careers, or places you're living, or there's some major aspects going on in your life that you're struggling with, reach out and book a call. And this is what we can go much deeper into personally for you, and I will look at your chart to see what's predominant in your life right now, because this energy is really calling you to step up in a much bigger way and to be true to you. So sending you much love, many blessings, and and tonight I will be giving a free intro at 7 p.m. Eastern time online, and I'll put the Eventbrite link for the Palawa Healing introduction tonight. It's all about expansion and acceleration for your higher consciousness. So I look forward to seeing you tonight if you're joining me on that call. And also it's an opportunity to ask me live on Zoom, one-to-one on the call together. Okay, send much love. Have a wonderful, magical week. Go out, create those miracles. Bye for now. And goodbye on Facebook. Thanks for watching.